Okay, in this next video, we'll hopefully finish the Gemara. We're on page Ayin Bet Amud Bet 72b. And on the third video, we'll tackle the Rishonim that we saw. So, new Braita, Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita, Damim Lo, the rule of Damim Lo, the rule of there are certain thieves who, quote unquote, have blood, and you are not allowed to kill them. They are not dangerous. They are not a threat to you. So this rule of Damim Lo, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat, whether it's a weekday or Shabbat. So that rule applies. If it's a thief you're not allowed to kill, you're not allowed to kill him, whether it's a weekday or it's Shabbat. And similarly, Ein Lo Damim, the rule of Ein Lo Damim, a situation where you are allowed to kill the thief, where the thief is seen as dangerous and therefore you're allowed to defend yourself. Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat, that whether it's a weekday or Shabbat, you can kill that thief. The Gemara says, Bishlama, Bishalom, which means that I understand something, but I'm not going to understand something else. Bishlama, Ein Lo Damim, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat, Itztrich. So let's break it down. Bishlama, I understand that the rule in the Braita, the second case of Ein Lo Damim, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat, I understand that that is needed. Itztrich, from the Shorish of Tzarich, Tzadi Reish Chaf, excuse me. So, the Gemara is saying, I understand why you need to tell me this rule of Ein Lo Damim, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat. We said that there's a general assumption that Mishnayot and Braitot don't just teach us obvious rules. It doesn't say things that are obvious. It teaches us things that we might not have known otherwise. So I understand why you need to tell me why it's trich, why this rule of Ein Lo Damim, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat is needed. That's not so obvious. Salka daitach amina, because Salka daitach amina, I might have believed. It's possible. It might have come up in my mind to believe. Midei dahava aharuge beitin, since in the case of Harugei Beitin, those who are killed by Beitin, Harugei Beitin, those who are executed Beitin. So I might have believed, since Harugei Beitin de b'Shabbat, on Shabbat lo katzlinan, we don't kill them. So I might have thought, therefore, that I can't kill a thief either. I might have thought that, as a homeowner, I know Beitin doesn't execute people on Shabbat. As a rule, we don't kill things on Shabbat. So maybe I would have thought that if the guy breaks in on Tuesday, I can kill him, but maybe on Shabbat, I can't kill him, just like Beitin doesn't kill people. Kamash Malan, so I take from it, I learn from it, dekatzlinan. So this line in the Braita of Ein Lo Damim, Bein B'chol, Bein B'Shabbat, that's not obvious. I might have thought otherwise. I might have thought I can't kill him because Beitin doesn't kill people, so I can't kill this thief on Shabbat. But Kamash Malan, therefore, the Braita comes to teach us dekatzlinan, that we do kill the person. So the Gemara is saying, I understand why this law is not obvious. I understand why it's not so clear that you don't even need to say it. There's reason to believe otherwise. But now the Gemara's question, Ela damim lo, bein b'chol, bein b'Shabbat, the other rule of saying if you can't kill him, if you're not allowed to kill the thief, it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday or it's Shabbat, you can't kill them. So, damim lo, bein b'chol, bein b'Shabbat, hashta b'chol lo katlinan, now that on a weekday I don't kill him, so lo katlinan lei, sorry. So now that on a weekday I don't kill him, lo horgim oto, b'Shabbat mibaya. Mibaya means tzrichim, I need. So the question is, I need you to tell me that I can't kill this guy on Shabbat. If it's a case where, as we saw earlier, it's my father, it's my loved one, and I'm not allowed to kill them on Tuesday. Obviously, I can't kill them on Shabbat. Shabbat is stricter. So if I can't kill someone on Tuesday, obviously I can't kill them on Shabbat. It would be like saying, having two separate rules, that you can't leave school during the free period and you can't leave school during class. If you can't leave school during a free period, obviously you can't leave school during class. You don't even need to tell me that. So the Amar Rav Sheshet says lo nitzracha. So lo nitzracha ella, it's needed to teach us the rule of lifakeach alav et hagal. So let's put that back. Lo nitzracha ella, that this rule of damim lo, it's not needed. It's a kind of a double negative. It's not needed except for, meaning it is needed for, to teach us lifakeach alav et hagal, literally to clear off from him the pile. So we said the case is a thief, while tunneling into your house, the tunnel could collapse and they're trapped. You have the only way to save them, the only way that they'll survive is if you save them, you clear the stones off. So what the Gemara is saying is, in a case of damim lo, in a case of a non-dangerous thief, the thief was never a threat to your life, you would have been allowed to kill them, like your father breaking into your house. It's pretty clear that on a weekday, you are mifakeach alav hetagal. You clear off the stones. You weren't allowed to kill him, so obviously you save him. This is just a random guy. It happens to be a criminal, but we save criminals. But it teaches us that this rule also applies b'Shabbat. That you might have thought that, okay, I'll save this thief. My father's breaking in. I'll save him on Tuesday. But on Shabbat, like what, I have to break Shabbat to save his life? Normally, if it's just a random dude, of course I'll break Shabbat to save his life. But this guy, it's his own fault he's in this situation. He's trying to break into my house. He's trying to steal my things. If he had just been a normal law-abiding citizen, he would never have been in any danger. So maybe I would have thought, I don't have to save him. If I want to, I can. But I'm under no obligation to save him on Shabbat. But no, that the Braita is here to teach us damim lo, that if you're not allowed to kill him, if he's not dangerous, he's a fully regular person, and you have to save him bein b'chol, bein b'Shabbat, whether it's a weekday or Shabbat. We saw two Rishonim that talk about a different case. What if it was a dangerous thief? What if it was a thief who you were allowed to kill? Do you have to save them? We'll save that for the next video where we discuss the Rishonim. We now skip down a little bit to our last little section of Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan. So we said these are two Braitot that are 90% identical with just a different last step. So Tanu Rabbanan, we learn in the Braita, Machteret, ein li ela Machteret. So the Pasuk says, we can put little quotes here. Let's do that quickly. So when it says Machteret, ein li ela Machteret. When the Pasuk says you find a guy in a tunnel, ein li, there's nothing for me, ela Machteret, but Machteret. It seems like what the Gemara is saying is that when the Pasuk says Bamachteret, it sounds like these laws apply of being allowed to kill a thief who breaks into your house applies if he tunnels into your house, if the way he gets in is through a tunnel. Gago chatzerova karpipo minayan. But minayan, from where? What's the source about there are different types of break-ins. People could break in not just through a tunnel, but through gago, hagag shalo, his roof, chatzero, hachatzer shalo, your courtyard, your backyard, the karpipo, your enclosure, your alleyway. So what's the source? What do I do if someone breaks in not through a tunnel? Someone breaks in a different way, like through my backyard. What's the source what can I do? What can I not do? Talmud Lomar, we said Talmud Lomar means a pasuk teaches us, and this is going to be an important word. Yimatzei haganav. So the pasuk, when dealing with the laws of someone who breaks into your house, is Yimatzei haganav. So if in a tunnel you find the thief, and the Gemara is interpreting mikol makom, that when it says Yimatzei haganav, those words are a little bit extra. It could have just said, if you see a thief in your house, kill him. But the fact that it says you find the thief means you find him mikol makom. You find him, literally that means in any place, but it means in any situation. He could have got there through your backyard, he could have got there through your roof, through your front door, through a tunnel, it doesn't matter. The words Yimatzei haganav teach us that these laws apply to any type of thief, not just someone who tunnels in. Then the Gemara asks a very logical question. Imkain, if that's true, if these laws apply to any type of thief, doesn't matter how they break in, ma Talmud Lomar, what does the Pasuk teach us? Machteret, with the word Machteret. If these rules apply no matter how the thief breaks in, why does the Pasuk say if you find him in a tunnel? It should say if you find a thief anywhere. What does the word Machteret teach us? And here's where the first Braita has its own approach. Mipnei sherov ganavim mitzugin b'machteret. Because most thieves are found in a tunnel. So what this means is, the reason the Pasuk says the word tunnel, it's not really there to teach you anything, it's just giving us the most common case. The most common place to find a thief was a tunnel back then. So it says if you find a thief in a tunnel. But it's not specific, it could be other places, it could be other ways too, because of the words Yimatzei haganav. The Torah just happens to be giving us the most common example. Rov ganavim mitzugin b'machteret. Next Braita, Tanya Idach, we saw this again before. Tanya, we learned a Braita Idach additionally, introducing us another Braita that's very similar. We'll do it a little faster because it's identical. Machteret, ein li ela Machteret. The word Machteret seems to only teach me the law of a tunnel. Gago chatzero v'kar pipo minayan. But what is the source for the roof, the backyard, the alleyway? Talmud Lomar Yimatzei haganav. The pasuk says Yimatzei haganav, you find the thief, meaning mikol makom. We interpret that to mean no matter where you find him. Im kain ma Talmud Lomar Machteret. If so, what do we learn from the word Machteret? And here's where the second Braita differs. Machtarto zohi hatra'ato. So we saw that there's a concept called hatra'ah, a warning. A warning that's the purpose of the warning is to identify if something is by accident or on purpose. So machtarto, the tunnel that the pasuk says the word machteret to teach us that the tunnel zohi hatra'ato, that is his warning. Meaning that if someone tunnels into your house, you do not need to give them a warning before you kill them. We'll explain a little bit more deeply in the video in which we read Rashi, but we're basically saying that if someone tunnels into your house, it's clear that they did that on purpose. It's impossible to tunnel into a house by accident. So that serves as your warning. The goal of a warning is to know, is this an accident? Did you do this on purpose? Is it just a coincidence? But there's no coincidence, there's no accident when it comes into tunneling into your house. So the pasuk is teaching you with this word machteret, even though it applies in all cases, not just a guy could break in through a tunnel, through a roof, through a backyard, but that serves as a warning. You don't need to warn an intruder into your house because you know that they're there on purpose. So in our next video, we'll look at Rashi and a Yad Raman and Meiri from earlier on, but which will explain. Rashi will be focusing on this line of Machtar Tozo Hi Hadrato, and the Yad Raman and Meiri will be focusing on this idea of when do we clear off a pile of stones from someone.